welcome back to the channel. Miss Crocheting Coffee here, and today we're doing a Wip N Chat, which means work in progress. So get out whatever it is you're working on and work along with me. I am working on my pretty little rainbow unicorn from DiyPaintingArt. It's an adorable little image that I unboxed last week. I'll put the unboxing up in the eye so you can see it if you are interested. I really like this canvas. I'm having no problems at all with the drills or the canvas itself. It's working up super quick, mostly because it's a lot of color blocking. So yeah, I needed this in my life. If you are a crafter and you get burnt out on doing something, like I love squares, love them to death, love them over rounds. But if you do too much of a good thing, it burns you out. So I got a little burned out on squares, so I was like, let me get some round kits. So I got a couple of round kits, a couple of easy kits. I got some kits from Diamond Dots I'm gonna try out. So I figured that will rejuvenate my love for squares again. But y'all, look, let's have a conversation about this damn elf on the shelf. Look, I am getting sick and tired of this elf tearing up my house. We've gone through Orion's underwear drawer. We have gone through markers. We have gone through the Christmas tree. We have gone, like, oh, no, y'all haven't seen that one yet. That'll be tomorrow. Anyways, so this thing is essentially what it is, for those folks that don't know what elf on the shelf is. It's a little elf that appears at your house the day after Thanksgiving. And then he gets into all kinds of shenanigans with your kids as the days go on. Now, he's supposed to be keeping an eye on your children to make sure they're behaving for Santa, okay? So, what number am I going to go next? Oh, I have more sevens. So, he comes in, he does little shenanigans, he makes sure they're on their best behavior, and then he goes and tells Santa whether they were good or bad. Well, we have had our elf on the shelf for a couple of years now. Minna is scared to death of the thing because it moves. Orion doesn't, he's just kind of like, you know, how does it keep moving? Orion's one of those really deep thinkers. He wants to know how everything works. Like, he will take apart stuff to figure out how it works inside. So he's just like, how does it keep doing this? He's getting suspicious, and I'm trying to, like, not get caught doing this. But he's caught me twice now. So I was just like, shit. Maggie is like in awe of it because, you know, to her everything's magical. So like, she's like, oh, mommy, he moves. Problem is, he always is messing with Maggie's stuff. He made Maggie a little canopy for her bed with a black bed sheet, and she woke up that morning and she was like, it was still dark. And then I realized there was a bed sheet on my bed, so I took it off, and I was like, oh, okay. So there was that. And he took the rolls of toilet paper the other day. Last night he did Silence of the Lambs. Like, it's really fun little thing to do with the kids to get them ready for Christmas. And believe me, we are ready for Christmas, okay? Mama might have went a little bit overboard this year. I don't even care. I got a little bonus from YouTube and stuff. So I was just like, I'm spoiling my children this year. They haven't had a nice, decent-sized Christmas. So we're going to do a regular, decent-sized Christmas. Plus, they've been pretty good this year with the homeschooling thing and everything else going on. They've been pretty good, and I had a couple extra bucks, so I was like, you know, they each get an extra little toy, because usually they get like 3 or 4 toys, and that's the end of it. Except for the fact, now, what age did your child stop playing with toys? Asking for myself. Mr. Orion has decided that he is too old for toys. Mommy, I'm too old for toys. And I'm like, I slowly see the peel of my baby boy turning into this little man. And he's just like, Mom, I'm not a baby. And I'm like, excuse me? You're still Mommy's baby. You will always be my baby. How dare you tell me you're not a baby? You are my baby. Can't tell Orion nothing because he's just like, no. I'm 9, Mom. I don't care how old you are. You are my tiny human and will forever be my tiny human. Now, Orion's probably going to be super tall because at this point, I think he's a little bit over 5 foot tall. And he's 9. He turns 10 in February. And I'm just like, I don't care how tall you get, how old you get. You will always be my little jubber-dubber, my little boy. And he's just like, I'm not a baby. Meanwhile, Maggie is very happy to stay a baby this entire time and everything. She's all about the baby life. Meanwhile, Orion's just like, I'm not a baby. I don't want toys for Christmas. Meanwhile, Minna's over there like, I want stuff to decorate my room. Now, if you guys didn't know, my oldest daughter's name is Minna. That's M-I-N-A. Minna. People call her Mina and it drives her nuts. She's like, it's not Mina. There's no E. It's Minna. Minna. Like minute. and an A. Minna. So, Minna wanted stuff to decorate her room. And I'm like, all right. Now, we always go a little overboard with Minna, but just because she's not here. Minna got a plaque. Now, she asked me to make a plaque. Well, she didn't technically ask me. What happened was, she was sitting in her room one day, and I called her to check up on her like I usually do randomly. And because I don't want to be one of those annoying parents that calls every single freaking day, but then I don't have anything to say to her, so then I'm just listening to her breathe for however long. Oh, if you hear that, that's just the kids. They're, like, in school and stuff. Speaking of that, hold on. Maggie has math class in, like, 7 minutes. Mr. Coffee's job canceled, so he's on his way back, and all the fun stuff is happening. Yay! So, anyways, Minna was making a gift for her friend. And it's one of those Spotify things where you take the music from the Spotify app and you make it into like a kind of like a picture framed work of art. If I remember, I'll try to put a picture in. And I made one, and I had to practice making it because I've never made them before. So I practiced making it, and I was like, all right, I got this. You know, let's make this thing for you, because she was trying to paint it, and it just wasn't going over well. Either way, I got it made. I sent it out to her, and I sent it out with a gift that Mr. Coffee wanted to get her. Now, you guys remember me opening up the Etsy shop to buy Mr. Coffee a tablet. Now, Mr. Coffee had already had a tablet, so let me explain. Mr. Coffee had a tablet that was sent to him by his school. The problem was, it was an older tablet, and he wanted a more updated tablet. Just because a lot of the things that the school was doing, he couldn't do on that tablet. So he wanted an updated tablet, and he wanted a bigger one because it also helps with his drawing and stuff, because he has to do like little animations and stuff. He couldn't get the app to work properly on it. The thing kept messing up. He told the school that it was messed up, and they, because it's tied into his tuition. So they told him, we could send you another one, but you're going to have to pay for it through your tuition, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, I don't want to go that route. Well, then it finally crapped out on him. And because it was due, this belongs to the school, he didn't want to mess with it too much. Well, he ended up trading that one out for a different one, which was essentially like one generation higher. And he was like, I'm still not happy with it. It still doesn't run as smoothly as as I need it to for school, blah, blah, blah. I would be happier if I had a newer tablet. He was just trying to do everything he could to get a newer tablet. Well, then that's when I decided I'm just going to buy him a newer tablet. So that's when I opened up the Etsy shop, which, again, I promise at some point I will open it up again. It's just I've been so preoccupied with other things. I haven't had a chance to work on anything besides those tote bags for the shop. And there's so much stuff I want to work on for the shop. So, yeah. Like I said, I'll open it up eventually, just not right now. Just give me some time. So, yeah. So, he decided Minna does not have a tablet. Minna has, like, all this Apple stuff. She wants a Chromebook. And I'm like, I don't know who you talking to about Chromebook. It sounds like you just cursed at me because Chromebooks is expensive. Okay, Mr. Coffee has a Chromebook. Yet, no, I'm not buying you a Chromebook. And he got his Chromebook from school. And I'm like, I don't care how old it is. I'm not buying you a Chromebook, okay? Like, that's not happening. So, he decided to give her the tablet. So, she'll be getting a tablet for Christmas along with... she got another gift yesterday, which I had to call and talk to her FedEx delivery driver because he came to her house super early that morning. And she wasn't aware that he was going to be there that early. And she was still asleep because, she's 14. So sleep all day, right? So she was still asleep by the time the FedEx guy came. And he left his... Now, down in Pennsylvania, they'll leave their numbers on your slip when you miss a package. So that if you do happen to get home in a reasonable time, and they're still out around your area, they will swing back and drop off your package. One of the things I miss about living in Pennsylvania is that, or where we lived at in Pennsylvania, because they would do stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm all for that. So, and they don't do that here in North Dakota. I literally have to chase down the truck if I see it, or I have to call in, which is a pain in the butt in itself, because of course you have to go through the whole jumping through hoops thing. Anyways, so Minna wakes me up Saturday, and she's all upset, and she's like, Mommy, I missed my package, because I told her to stay home Saturday so she can get the package. And she's like upset, Mommy, I missed my package, I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, calm down. What do you mean you missed it? And she's like, I missed it. And I'm like, oh, so they delivered it already, but you weren't there to sign for it, because she had to sign for it. And she's like, yeah, I didn't know they were coming so early, blah, blah, blah. And she's 14, so she doesn't know what time the mail comes, because she doesn't typically get a whole lot of mail. So I was just like, well, calm down. We'll figure something out. Let me see the slip, because the slip's going to have a phone number on it, which I knew this. She didn't realize this. And she goes, who's Trevor? And I'm like, I don't know. Who's Trevor? And she goes, I don't know, but there's some guy's phone number on here. She goes, maybe he thinks I live by myself. And I'm like, no. I'm like, it's not even that kind of a rodeo. So I looked at the name and I looked at the number, and I was like, that's the number for if you happen to come home and he tried to deliver something. And I'm like, so let me call this number. And I was a little worried about calling the number at first, but I realized that I still have a Pennsylvania number. I refuse to get rid of my phone number, because if you guys remember back in I think it's the 80s, they had that song, and it was like 8675309. Yeah, that song actually lines up with my cell phone number, so I refuse to get rid of my cell phone number. Plus, it's one of the only ways I can remember it, so yeah, no, I'm not getting rid of it. So I called the guy and talked to the guy, and he's like, oh yeah, Mina. I'm like, Minna. Minna. Her name is Minna. And he's like, yeah, I'm still in the area. I'll stop by here in about an hour to drop it off to her. And I was like, thank you so much. It's her Christmas gift. Just a heads up. She's only 14, but she, I give her authorization to sign for it. And I gave him all my information so that he knew that I was the one that sent it. And he was like, all right, no problem. Thank you so much. I'm like, if her dad might be there with her, his name is this and blah, blah, like giving information just so nothing happens where she can't get her package. And I told her it was the one thing that she could open before Christmas, because we usually let the kids open at least one gift before Christmas. The problem is I haven't finished shopping for the little ones yet. Maggie, she's done. I'm not buying her anything else. I've bought enough baby dolls and baby doll accessories that she should be A-okay for at least the first 20 minutes of Christmas, and then she'll bug somebody because she wants to play something. So I bought her enough. I still have to buy a couple more things for Orion, and then I'm done. I thought I was done, and then I realized how much stuff I had bought for Maggie, and I was like, that's a little lopsided. So I had to buy a couple more things for Orion, and then I can say I'm officially done. I bought pretty much everything I need to buy for my friends on YouTube land. I'm hoping I didn't forget anybody. If I did, they'll just get late Christmas gifts. I don't think they'll give a crap. So yeah, so it's one of those things where I am done with Christmas. I want Christmas to be here so we can get it over with, because at this point, I live in an apartment, okay? You guys know this. I don't really have a whole lot of places to hide gifts. I'm not going to put them outside in the garage because I don't want them to be outside. I don't know. No. I'm not going to wrap them and put them underneath the tree either, because our tree sits next to our sliding glass door. Now, we lock our sliding glass door, yes. But if something were to happen, say somebody were to break into my house and say they had like bologna or something for my dogs to keep them preoccupied from biting them, they could essentially take all the Christmas gifts from underneath my tree. So I was like, yeah, no, we're not putting those underneath the tree. I have 2 items underneath the tree. One is for me and one's for the house. So I'm like, that's enough underneath the tree for right now. So all the stuff is essentially sitting. Like, when do you guys wrap gifts for Christmas? Do you wrap them the day before? Do you wrap them as you get them? Let me know down in the comment section if you celebrate Christmas. I know some people don't celebrate Christmas. We obviously celebrate Christmas, so me and Mr. Coffee go through the mad dash the night before and wrap gifts. It usually takes about 2-3 hours to wrap gifts, and then we're like, okay, now we can be done. But the problem is we suck at gift giving, so when we finish wrapping them, we want to give them to the kids. So we're going to try very hard this year to not give them to the kids. Oh, I ordered jackets, sweatshirts for Mr. Coffee from Bittersweet Paris. If you don't know what Bittersweet Paris is a website that is legally licensed to sell JoJo's Art's images on clothing. So it's called bittersweetparis.com, and you can just type in JoJo's Arts and it'll bring up some of his artwork, and you will recognize them from the Diamond Art Club website, because a couple of the images that they use, like Brotherhood, Night Guardian, a lot of the images are diamond paintings already. So I was like, oh, he said he really liked my Soul Keeper jacket, so I will get him Brotherhood. Now, Brotherhood is the one that JoJo's Arts had that big debacle with Aaron Carter because he's a douchebag and tried to use JoJo's Arts image. And then he's like, it's not your image. I made it black and white. People are dumb. Anyways, so I got him that one because it has a black and white lion on it. It also has a moon and a sun on the lion's heads. And as you guys know, me and Mr. Coffee, we are a celestial family. So that was right up my alley for him. And I was like, oh, sweet, bet. He also got the new PlayStation 5, which he already got for Christmas. Like, that's something I had already, like, planned getting him for Christmas anyways. In the hopes that maybe one day he will start streaming. But, yeah, like, I saw it online. Apparently, they were supposed to be hard to find. He wanted one really bad, and I was just like, they're not that hard to find, because I just found one. So he got a PlayStation 5, which is the early gift that he got, and he's been playing that, which is why I haven't really seen his face. It's because he's been face deep into that game. So yeah, so it's one of those things where Mr. Coffee is done. I got enough stuff for him. He bought me yesterday, he bought me a printer. Now, the printer is for my Cricut stuff. I already have a printer, but this printer does something special, which I will go into later. I'm not going to say right now because, you know, copycats. But I got a printer, and I bought some stuff to go with the printer, and I was just like, you know, that's really cool. I also got the new Twilight series book, Midnight Sun. Yes! Now, I'm not a big reader, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not somebody who can sit down and read a book. I can if I wanted to, but I don't. Why? Because I'm lazy. I'd rather read the audiobook, but I do have the full collection of Twilight book series. Never read any of them. I always look for the audiobook. Why? Because I'm always busy doing something. I don't have time to sit down and read. Have you met Maggie and Orion? Yeah, no, those kids would never let me just sit down, relax, and read a book. Yeah, that's not happening. So I was like, yeah, no. That's fine. I love the book. I love the fact that I have a completed series now for the Twilight series. And I'm like, I'm still going to, you know, keep it, but I can't promise that I'm going to get a chance to actually sit down and read it. Well, I've read the first 200 pages, and I was shocked that I even got that far because the kids were playing with Window Friend and their brother, and her brother. And then we find out that Window Friend and her brother are not here. Like, they don't necessarily, they live here, but they're here temporarily. And I'm thinking, oh snap, witness protection program. I shouldn't ask them any questions. And then, like, Window Friend's brother was just like, oh, no, my mom's a traveling nurse. And I'm like, oh. Now, from what I hear, traveling nurses make bank, okay? By bank, I mean they make a lot of money. And I was just like, oh, your mom's a traveling nurse, which explains why she's not home overnight. And Window Friend's brother is, like, 14, so he stays home with her and, like, you know, by the time their mom leaves for work, they're going to bed. So essentially, she's gone while they're sleeping, and then gets them ready to take them to school the next day. But yeah. So their mom's a traveling nurse, so her lease is almost up here. And I'm like, oh, dude, that sucks because the kids really like them. They like going out to play. Orion has someone to play video games with, and Maggie has someone to go play in the dirt and do like kid stuff with. And so I'm like, oh, they're gonna miss them. That's so sad. And there are other kids around here, but the other kids around here are buttholes, okay? Let me explain what happened to me and why somebody had to go run and tell their parent on me, and then their parent came. It was a whole hot mess yesterday at the park. Okay, so this is what went down, okay? I'm sitting at the park, and I'm walking the dogs, okay? I just finished recording my Patreon vlog. I record as I walk the dog, so essentially they get to listen to, like, in 45 minutes to an hour of me yapping about, you know, life and what's going on at the house while I walk the dog. So essentially they just see the dogs. They rarely ever see me. They'll see the kids sometimes too, which, by the way, I do have a Patreon, small plug. If you are looking to join, it is always linked down in the description box below. You feel free to join. There are 4 tiers, and you just pick whichever one you would like, and boom, you're on Patreon, and you get all kinds of behind the scenes things and pictures and, you know, whatnots. So if you like to join, just a heads up, I do have a Patreon. But yeah, so I'm sitting there, and Window Friend tells me that, you know, they're going to be moving, and I'm like, oh, that really sucks, because the kids really have grown attached to them. And one of the reasons why I didn't, like, I was dating a military guy, and I broke it off with him, is, oh, you still can't see what I'm doing. Why didn't y'all say something? I broke it off with them because I didn't want my kids to have to live the life like I did. I lived a miserable childhood because I would constantly move around a lot. And it wasn't because, like, you know, we would get kicked out of an apartment or something. It was because my parents were in the military and we constantly moved. So at some point when I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9, I had made the decision that I wasn't going to talk to anyone anymore because I felt like something was wrong, because every time I would talk to somebody and become friends, we would move. And I thought it was my parents' way of keeping me from having friends. Until I got older and realized that it was just because we had to move. We moved, like, I think it was like every 6 months or every year or something like that. It wasn't my parents trying to be any kind of way. It literally was because of my parents were in the military, so we moved around a lot. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, that sucks. You know, they're going to be moving. The kids aren't going to have their friends around. And so we're okay. I lost my train of thought for like 30 seconds. Now I know where I was going. So we're at the park, and I hear these little kids playing. There's 3 little boys playing at the park, okay? And I'm sitting there, and I hear something clanking up against the slide. Now, it's a plastic slide, so you can't not hear that clank noise. And it's just clank, clank, clank. And I'm like, oh, okay, what is that noise? Well, okay, I need number 16. It says this is a 16. There it is. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the hell is that noise? What's clanking? And I look over, and this one of the little boys, which used to be one of Orion's friends. He's not anymore. But he used to be one of Orion's little friends, and I think I'm going to run out this color. No, pick up there we go. But I told Orion that he couldn't be friends with the little boy anymore because the little boy kept coming to my house bringing knives. And I'm sorry, I'm not about to have the next child on a t-shirt because some little boy at the playground was playing and just being a boy and ends up, you know, stabbing my son. Yeah, that's not going to be a thing. So I stopped having him play with this little kid. And so the little kid is throwing rocks at the slide. And I thought he was just throwing it at the slide. You know, no problem, whatever. Well, then I hear it hit something, but it didn't sound like the slide. And then I hear a little boy start crying. I immediately, of course, my mama mode kicks in. My neck snaps around, and I'm like, what the hell was that? I look over. There's a little boy standing there by the slide. He's bleeding and crying. He's not bleeding profusely. Like, there's not, like, blood pouring out of his head. But he has, like, blood on his hand. I can see the blood on his hand. And, of course, I rush over, and I'm like, are you okay? I pull out a tissue out of my pocket because I had tissues. Don't worry, I had gloves on. And I pulled out a tissue out of my pocket, and I put it on his head, and I'm like, where do you live? You know, let's get you home to your parents. And I'm like, what happened? And the little boy goes, he hit me in the head with a rock. And he goes, oh, stop being a pansy. It didn't even hurt that bad. Now take it. The boy that's hitting him in the head is about 9 or 10 years old. The little boy he was playing with was about 5 or 6. And I'm like, why would you be sitting here throwing rocks at kids' heads? Because it's fun. Okay, 1, you need to lower the attitude level down to 0 because I'm not your mama and daddy. I'll whoop your ass out here in this park. Look, listen, I am not above beating somebody else's child, okay? Don't come out here showing your behind thinking that you big and bad Leroy Brown. Leroy Brown better sit his tail down. You hear what I'm saying? So this little boy has attitude, and of course my gangster mode kicked on, and I'm like, I don't know who you think you talking to, but you better adjust that because, no sir, no ma'am, no ham, no turkey. You are not about to be out here in these streets talking and being disrespectful to me. You don't know me like that. And he's like, I'm going to tell my mom on you. That's fine. You know what? Go tell your mom. I'm going to sit right here until she comes back. He goes and leaves. And I asked the little boy, I'm like, where do you live? Dude, where do you live? Where's your house? And he's like, over there. It just hurts my feelings that he doesn't even care about me. I'm like, I understand that, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through this, but let's get you home so your mom can get you cleaned up. Meanwhile, my dogs are still at the park. There's another little boy there that's sitting there. He goes, he's always such a jerk to us. I don't know why we play with him. And I'm like, well, you guys have to make the choice for yourself to play with him or not. I'm like, honestly, my son used to play with him, but then when I realized how rough he plays with my son, I wouldn't let my son play with him anymore. And he's like, yeah, because he's mean. So I get the little boy home, and the mom's just like, you know, oh my God, what happened? I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I was at the park with my dogs, and this little boy threw a rock at your son's head as he was coming down the slide. And she goes, I told y'all about playing with that little boy, and I don't like that little boy. And she thanked me for bringing him home. And I was like, all right, well, I have to get back because my dogs are probably going to be trying to jump the fence because I left. They didn't pay attention. They didn't even realize I was gone, I don't think. Anyways, I get back to the park and I sit at the bench at the park because I'm thinking, okay, home dude went to go get his mama. Let's talk to his mama, because I've only talked to his mama once, which she said boys are going to be boys. When I asked her why her son is carrying around a pocket knife. And she's just like, boys are going to be boys. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're one of those parents, huh? Okay. All right. So, little boy, I guess his mom wasn't home, so he brought his sister. And little boy goes, there she is right there. She's being mean to me. Little girl comes up. Now, she had to be like 16, 17 years old. You know, she feeling herself. She walks on up like she's Billy Badass. And she looks at me and she goes, who are you yelling at my brother? And I stood up. All 6'1", 200-pound Miss Coffee. Yeah, I gained a couple of pounds. Don't be judging me. I stand up and I go, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Now, look, listen. I'm not above cussing at people's kids. I'm not. Because if you're going to walk up in my face and then try to intimidate me, oh, no, baby doll. No, no, no. She had to have been like 5'5", okay? She sees me. She cowers down. And I'm like, I don't know who you think you're talking to. But again, you better watch your tone when you talk to me. I'm like, your little brother is over here knocking people in the head with rocks as they're coming down the slide. And she goes, what? I'm like, yeah. So he brought you over here to fuss at me because I stopped him from hitting and hurting little children that were way smaller than him in the head with rocks. And she grabs him by his shirt collar and she's like, are you hitting kids? It was funny. He's just being a little pussy is all. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm not even joking. That's the word he used. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I had the same problem with your brother a few months ago when he was playing with my son. I'm like, you might remember him. The little boy looks like he's mixed curly hair. And she goes, yeah. I'm like, yeah, he kept bringing pocket knives over to play with my son and threatening to stab my son. I'm like, so I stopped him from playing with my son. And I see him over here playing with these little kids all the time, the two twins. Because, of course, little boys are twins. And she's like, you're out here hitting them in the head with rocks? Blah, blah, blah. You wait till Dad gets home. I'm telling on you. And I'm like, yeah, he brought you over here to come talk to me. I'm like, if you don't appreciate what I did to your little brother, which was absolutely nothing, I just told him he better watch his tone when he's talking to me because, again, I'm an adult. He's a child. I don't care. I don't want to play with those little punks anyways. I'll play by myself. And his sister's like, oh, no, no, you're coming back to the house. And I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm like, I just wanted y'all to know that he's out here terrorizing other children. And I'm like, this is the type of thing that, like, serial killers are made out of. Like, I've been watching one too many true crime stories here on YouTube. I'm just saying, you're playing with weapons and everything else. And then she's like, I don't even know why Dad even gave you that knife. I should have known you were going to be trying to threaten these other little kids. And I'm like, She takes him back home, and I go over to the dogs, get the dogs, leash them up, take them home. Look, I don't mind protecting little kids that aren't mine, because, like, if I see a child and something suspicious is going on, I'm not going to just sit quietly and not say nothing. Even if it happens with another child. Like, if you're being bullied, come talk to Miss Coffee. I got you. Like, that's not going to happen in these streets. I was bullied as a kid. It wasn't fun. So I'm just like, no, that's not happening in front of me. No. So that was, Saturday? I think it was. And then I spent the rest of the weekend drawing and doing stuff around the house. Mr. Coffee comes in Saturday night, and he's like, oh, hey. And I was like, oh, hey. What are we friends? Like, what's happening right now? Like, what do you mean, oh, hey? And he goes, oh, heads up. And I'm like, okay. He gives me this look, and then he looks down, and I'm thinking, what did he do? Like, why are you uh-ohing and, whatever me? And he goes, just wanted to let you know. I'm like, just wanted to let me know. You can finish a sentence. It's okay. Finish your sentence. And he's like, couple of the guys at work. I'm like, couple of the guys at work. Okay, that's a good start. Now let's finish it. Couple of the guys. And he's just looking at me. He's like, will you let me finish? Oh, okay. He's like, couple of the guys at work. Don't take this the wrong way. And I'm thinking, okay. Because he's slowly finding out that the men at his job, the men that he works with, are misogynistic pigs who are maybe a slight racist. And when Mr. Coffee gets, you know, a job or whatever, he talks about me and the kids, but he doesn't tell them, like, hey, by the way, my wife is black. So, like, they don't find that out until they meet me, and then they're like, oh my god, like, oh my god, he's dating a black chick. So, I guess the guy was in the car listening to the radio, and his wife called, and they're having an argument while Mr. Coffee is sitting there, which is super awkward for him, because Mr. Coffee is someone who doesn't like confrontation. And he's, like, listening to them bicker back and forth, and he puts his headphones in, so he's not, like, you know, listening to them fight. And the guy gets off the thing, and he's like, yeah, sometimes you got to put your woman in her place. And he's like, mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, you know better than that, right? And he's like, mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, because I'm just saying, you come up here talking about putting a woman in her place. I'm talking right now, you're gonna have your own place in the ground with your name on it. I'll even put your whole name on it. And he's like, yeah, he just, you know, I have to listen to Trump radio all day, and I have to freaking, you know, all these Christian music stations. Now keep in mind, Mr. Coffee is not religious. We're not religious people, okay? We're not like, we don't go to church. When I say we're not religious, we don't go to church or anything like that. I have some kind of belief, and Mr. Coffee has some kind of belief that we're not going to get into, but so he's just like, I'm having to sit and be stuck in a truck, essentially listening to god-awful things. And, yeah. And I'm like, I'm sorry? He goes, also, somebody just spoke. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I didn't hear what you said. What did you say? And at the time, I was typing up something for one of my videos. So I thought I legit just tuned him out. And I was like, what did you say? And he goes, and I'm like, can I get that in English, please? And he's like, and I'm like, hun, you're making 0 cents. 0 cents. Like, what are you saying to me right now? He's like, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even fooling with you right now. Leave me alone. I'm like, I'm going to go do whatever. I think I just put the wrong color. Yeah, I did. I put 8s down on the A's. Luckily, they're all right here. That's an easy mistake to fix. No reverse diamond painting today, y'all. Anyways. And I was just like, what are you mumbling to me? Like, I don't understand. Now, Mr. Coffee already knows I'm super paranoid about this virus. I don't care what anybody says. I'm paranoid about it. I show lamb. Don't even bother me with it. Nope. And it's funny because I walked into Walmart the other day and some lady was like fussing because they're reinforcing the fact that you have to wear a mask in the store. I have asthma. As I walk up, take a puff of my inhaler, put my mask on and go, hello. And I just walk by. People out here, I have asthma, so I can't. Well, my asthma's worse than, I'm like, you don't know how bad my asthma is, okay? So, like, just put the mask on your stupid face and let's just be done with this. Like, seriously, like, it takes a minute. And if your asthma is that bad, then maybe send somebody else to the store. But, like, seriously, like, are we still having this argument? And it's funny because I put up something by Bill Nye the Science Guy on my Instagram about wearing a mask. And I know there's people out there that are like, I don't want to wear a mask. Well, that just tells you the people out there that you should probably avoid because they probably don't care about other people. And some lady was like, Bill Nye is an engineer. He's not, you know, qualified for this. And I'm like, okay, the engineers have told you to wear a mask. Scientists have told you to wear a mask. Epidemiologist Dr. Fauci tells you to wear a mask. The president tells you to wear a mask, even though he doesn't do it. All these people are telling you to wear a mask. Who is it going to be that can tell you to wear a mask that you'll actually wear a mask? We're watching other countries open up and be fine now because they all decided to wear a mask, but the U.S. still has people that are like, I'm not wearing a mask. I don't care about anybody else. I'm not wearing a mask. I have asthma. I'm so sick of hearing the I have asthma excuse. I'm like, I'm just going to walk up to people and start slapping them. Sorry, I have physical Tourette's. Like, just put the mask on. Jeez, how hard is it? Anyways, let me get off that tangent before somebody be in my comment section that I have to cuss out. Anyways, so I went into Walmart and, you know, got my stuff and came out like a normal human being that has asthma because you put the mask on your face over your nose as well and you go get what you need to get and get out. It's one way to guarantee that I won't be in Walmart for a long period of time. I'm okay with this. So, anyways, So he comes in, he's mumbling something. He keeps mumbling it, and I don't know why he's mumbling it. And then when he says COVID, and I'm like, I turn my head and I'm like, I'm sorry, did you just say what I think you just said? He goes, hun, look. I'm like, hold up. Are you telling me that you have COVID? And he's like, no. I'm like, oh, then what, who has COVID? Apparently half the staff at my husband's job has come down with COVID. Why? Because Thanksgiving just passed and they all got together because, you know, COVID's not real. And they found out real quick, fast, in a hurry how quickly and real COVID was. Because now all of them that got together for that Thanksgiving dinner all have tested positive for COVID. So they lost half the staff at my husband's job. And he's like, yeah, which means I probably won't have days off coming up in a couple of days. And I'm like, oh, dude, that sucks. Because he's supposed to go on days off for 4 or 5 days on Wednesday. And I'm like, well, that sucks. What now? And he goes, well, we have to figure out what to do because everybody's having to quarantine for 2 weeks except for the people like me and the operator that he works with. But the boss guy doesn't want to shut down and test everybody for COVID. He just figures whenever you have symptoms, that's when you need to stay home. And I'm like, okay. Strip. And he's like, what? I'm like, strip. And he's like, what? Right here? I'm like, yes. And he's looking at me and gave me the side eye like, oh yeah, I got this. And he starts taking his clothes off and everything. He comes near me. I was like, clothes. And luckily I was already washing dishes or something because I had my gloves on. And he walks over to me, he hands me the gloves, and I'm like, or the clothes, and I'm like, thank you. And he's like, you just gonna leave me here in my underwear? Yep. Went into the laundry room, threw his stuff in the washing machine, put it on the hottest temperature I could have, put the Tide Pods in there, and boom. I was like, okay, go get a shower. And he's like, what? I'm like, go get a shower. Don't touch anything in my house. Go get a shower. Made him go get a shower. And then after he got out of the shower, I bleached my bathroom. I bleached the front door. I bleached the foyer area over there. And I'm like, all right, so are you quarantining now? Is that what you're trying to tell me? And he's like, all I was trying to tell you is that everybody at work essentially almost has COVID. And I'm like, that's wonderful because it won't be coming in our house. So like, then I spent Sunday bleaching everything because no, we're not doing that here. That's not gangsta. So yeah. So Mr. Coffee's having to work longer hours because of the guys at his job being irresponsible and taking the virus for a joke, which is probably why North Dakota has some of the highest rates right now, is because people up here don't believe it's real. Only certain people up here don't believe it's real. There's a lot of people up here that are wearing their mask and social distancing and whatnot. Then there's those hardcore people that are just like, no, that's just the way of the government controlling you. I'm like, yes, because it must be so horrible to put something over your face. Anyways, so Mr. Coffee's having to work longer hours because of it, and he's asked his boss if he works the longer hours and works through the days off he's supposed to have, can he have off for Christmas? Because, of course, he's new at this job, so, like, because they're on call and the oil field doesn't do holidays, he wants to try to get off for Christmas. Now, I told him he didn't have to do that, but he wants off for Christmas. So, I was just like, okay. So, I guess his boss and him made an arrangement with something that he's not going to have to work on Christmas now, so he's super excited about that. And then there's me and the kids. The kids are doing good in homeschooling. They have their 9-week exams coming up this week. Orion's teacher is out sick. I don't know what's wrong with her. She just said she wasn't feeling the best. So she's out today and I think tomorrow. So Orion has pretty much free reign over doing his assignments, which I, of course, will be checking over them because I don't trust Orion. Orion will throw down anything on that paper to get back to his book or his game. Right now, they're doing a book report on a book, something, The Road to Terabithia or something. I've never read the book, never heard of it. And I'm thinking, where is To Kill a Mockingbird? How many people in school read To Kill a Mockingbird? Or, I never read it because, okay, so the way things went when I was growing up, we moved so often. I never took my SATs. Never took them. Yes, I've been to college twice now. Never took my SATs. I didn't read one of the classics, 1984. Never read it, which is hilarious because that's the year I was born, and I still didn't read the book. Huckleberry Finn, I read half of it, and then what would happen was, like with my SATs, we moved from South Carolina to Pennsylvania. When South Carolina was starting the SATs is when I moved. By the time we got to Pennsylvania and got enrolled in school, they had finished SATs. So I never took the SATs. It slipped through the cracks there because of me moving so much. And then like with books and stuff in school, right as one school was starting to read the book, we would move and the other school would have just finished reading the book. So there's a lot of stuff that I didn't get to experience. So one of the things I did was To Kill a Mockingbird, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, stuff like that, like the classical books. But they're reading something called The Road to Terabithia or something about Terabithia. And the fact that Orion had to tell me what the word was, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the hell is he reading? He's like, Mom, that says Terabithia. I'm like, you know what? Get the hell out of here, kid. So, like, 15 is J. So, he's got to read a book, and he's got to do math and science and all this other fun stuff. Maggie is doing prep with her teachers. I have another meeting with the IEP people. They're going to get Maggie a tutor to help her build her reading skills. And again, I don't understand this whole reading thing. Like, they keep telling me there's nothing wrong. You know how when you go to, like, your teacher or your doctor and you tell them that you think something's wrong with your child and they give you that look after doing some tests and they're like, there's nothing wrong with your child. And they're looking at you like you're just a helicopter parent. Look, listen, don't judge my life choices. I'm a helicopter parent. I know this. I accept it. I own it. That's fine. But I knew there had to be something up with Maggie because Maggie doesn't read like a normal person her age should be reading. And then I find out she can read, and she does. She does it in her head. She doesn't do it out loud, but she does it in her head, and then she lacks the confidence in herself, I guess. So then that's why she'll have people read it to her so that she knows that she's reading the correct thing, like she's not messing up, because her biggest fear is messing up. I don't know why. And tell her all the time, you're human, you're going to make mistakes. And she goes, I don't want to make mistakes. Nobody wants to make mistakes, honey, but that's just life, how it works. Everybody makes mistakes. Well, that's stupid, because I don't want to make mistakes. All right, whatever. So I'm sitting there, and the teachers tell me, there's nothing wrong with Maggie. Maggie's just doing what Maggie does. She, works at her own pace, and she doesn't like a lot of this, and she doesn't like... I'm like, I know Maggie. I know her well enough to know that she can do the work. Problem is getting her to do the work is the problem, okay? Like, Maggie can do things. Maggie wanting to do them is a whole different pot of worms, okay? So, we have an IEP meeting with her teacher coming up on Thursday, I think. And so we're going to talk to her teacher about getting her a tutor just to help her build some confidence. Because she'll read to me and Mr. Coffee every once in a while, but for the most part, like, no. But then those gifts started coming in for Christmas because, of course, I didn't do any shopping in store. Zero shopping was done in store. And I was told that as long as I got all the stuff I needed to get before December 5th, it would make it there on time. Actually, everything's making it there pretty early, so I'm pretty impressed with the Postal Service right now. They deserve a round of applause. But the gifts have started coming in. And the best thing about it is I didn't have to leave my house to go get them. I just shopped online. The gifts are starting to come in, and one of the first gifts that comes in, Maggie opens the door, and in front of the door is a huge stack of boxes. And she's like looking at one of the boxes, and she's like, Mommy, what's Barbie Dream Car? What? What's Barbie Dream Car? What is that? And I'm like, I don't know. What the hell is a Barbie Dream Car? Because at first I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And then she was like, Mom, it's on that box. And I'm like, it's on the box. Why doesn't Amazon put, hide the box at Christmas time? I don't know. But they hate my life. And I'm just like, go to your room. Let me bring the boxes in. Let me go put them away. They're Christmas presents. And she goes, oh, what's Barbie Dream Car? And I'm like, it's nothing. It's just something for Daddy. She goes, Daddy likes Barbies too? I'm like, Daddy likes Barbies. Mr. Coffee does not like Barbies. He just will play Barbies with her because he has a daughter, so he'll play Barbies with her. And so she's like, oh, my Barbie needs a new car. I'm like, well, maybe one day we'll get your Barbie a new car. Obviously, the car's for her, but we have to tell her it was Daddy's because we want her to be surprised. So, all the packages have essentially come in. I think I have one more big package coming in today. And then all my online shopping would be done. So I'm pretty excited about that. This week I plan on finishing this kit, starting back up on Swan Lake, which, because I've already started the kit, I can just immediately start working on it. I don't have to start it in a video or anything, so I'm pretty happy about that. all my videos for this week and next week will be probably recorded over the next couple of days because I have some stuff coming in from Etsy, and I have another unboxing from Distracted by Diamonds coming in. So I'm pretty excited. Crafty Craft Craft. If I didn't mention it already, I will be going live on Christmas. Now, before you go, oh my God, Miss Coffee, you've got to spend time with your family. Look, listen, going live isn't just for you guys, okay? Sometimes I need adult time. As a stay-at-home mom, and I know other stay-at-home moms can understand this, I need there to be time where I don't have to talk like a child, where I don't have to break things down so that tiny humans can understand what I'm saying. I need adult time. There are times where I need an adult. And that's what my lives are to me. Those are my times where I get adult time, okay? So I'm going live on Christmas. We're going to call it Christmas with the Coffees, because that's just fitting. And so more likely you'll have more interaction between Mr. Coffee and the kids in the video or in the live. So feel free to come join us. It'll be Christmas Day at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, because I live in Central Standard Time. It'll be 10 o'clock Eastern, and then 7 Pacific, and then that's 10 Mountain Time for those Mountain Time folks. And then, like, whatever time it is for you fine folks. But, yeah, I am going to be live on Christmas Day because, you know, by that time of night, ain't nobody gonna be talking to nobody. Like, I'm gonna be sitting here diamond painting. Actually, to be honest with you, if I wasn't going live, I'd be probably sitting here drawing because I'm getting new sketch pads. And so, yeah, there's that. But, like, my parents, they already got their gifts. Well, my dad got his gift. He wasn't supposed to open it. He fussed at me because he bought me some new pots and pans. Now, I didn't ask him to buy me pots and pans, mostly because I knew my mother-in-law was buying me pots and pans for Christmas. And so I didn't ask Pawpaw to buy me pots and pans, but Pawpaw decided he was going to buy me pots and pans. And I was like, oh, more pots and pans, which is fine because you can't have enough pots and pans. And I needed to get rid of the set that I had because they were just garbage. It was a Rachel Ray set, and I didn't like them because the Teflon started to peel. And once it started to peel, I had to go purchase other pots because, no. But these new ones that he bought are a little bit better than those. So, I'm really hoping the dog stays asleep because there's another dog just being walked in front of my house right now. Anyways, but Pawpaw bought me pots and pans, and when I guess he was talking to Mr. Coffee about it, and I'm like, why didn't you tell him to buy me a vacuum? Like, I wanted a vacuum. And then, of course, Mr. Coffee's mom bought us pots and pans. So, like, the very next day, we get another box huge in front of the house, and it's pots and pans again. And I'm like, oh, more pots and pans, yay. So, now I have 2 sets of pots and pans, which is fine, because, again, you can't have enough pots and pans. Mr. Coffee was just like, I tried to tell your dad not to buy pots and pans. And he bought them anyways. And I'm like, well, I guess we're just going to have to chill with 2 pots and pans. And then I bought my dad an Apple Pencil and a tablet case for his iPad because he just got a new one, so he needed it. And he fussed at me because the box came open. We were sitting here one night. It was like 9 o'clock, 9:30. And we hear this bang at the door. We go open the door. There's pots and pans just sitting at the door. Now, they had it semi-wrapped up in some trash bag material, but it was like the trash bag was almost falling off the box. And then, of course, they didn't try wrapping the box in anything else, so I could see what it was. And my dad was mad because why did you open it? And I'm like, I didn't open it. It was already open. Like, when they shipped them out, they didn't put it in another box. It was just there. So I already know what it is. So then he opened his gift, and I was like, well, why did you open your gift? Because you weren't supposed to open yours until Christmas. And he goes, I have to make sure it works. And I'm like, you could have did that on Christmas. He's like, oh, just wrap it up. Well, there's no point in wrapping it up now. You already done opened it up and looked at it. Parents are the worst at gifts. My mom, I'm just going to throw her some money because that's all she ever wants for Christmas. She just wants money to go play bingo. So I'm like, you know what? That's easy enough. I'll just throw some money at her. So parents are down for Christmas. My one sister got an Echo. I bought her an Echo because she wanted one. The other sister, she hasn't told me what she wanted yet, so she's like one of the few people that is outstanding that has yet to tell me what they want for Christmas. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to go fishing around asking people, hey, you want something for Christmas? What do you want? Like, no, that's not my jive. So I figured if she wants something for Christmas, she'll tell me. More than likely, she'll do like she usually does and wait till the day after Christmas, because she knows that's when I really go shopping, because that's when all the sales hit. That's when all those people are bringing back those gifts that they didn't want and getting other things with the money that they got back from the crappy gift that they got. So they usually put a lot of stuff on sale over at Walmart. So I was like, yes. That's my Black Friday, is the day after the day after Christmas, is because that's when you find all the deals and everything else. But yeah, so I will be going live on Christmas. It'll be my last live of the year, so of course I had to go live on Christmas. Oh no, Miss Coffee's got to be extra. So yeah, like this weekend has just been one thing after another. I got hit in the face with the toilet paper roll as I was trying to put the toilet paper back in the bathrooms from Smitty taking the toilet paper. I'm having a lot of fun with him, but it's time for him to go. I'm getting tired of this. Ryan keeps catching me move the damn thing, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I had to get this. Like, I'm having to come up with excuses why I keep touching it, and I'm like, I'm sorry. So, I'm ready for him to go back to the North Pole now. But we have, I think, another 2 weeks before he leaves again. So we're going to make the most of it. And I try posting what he does up on my Instagram page. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's just Miss Crocheting Coffee. And I try to keep the same profile picture for all my social media so people know, oh, hey, look, there's Miss Coffee. So you can't miss it. Just Miss Crocheting Coffee over on Instagram. And if you want to see all the shenanigans that Smitty has gotten himself into, you can watch it over there. So yeah. What else? This painting, like I said, this painting will be done rather soon, because as you can see in the hour that I've been recording, we're almost already done with it. I finished this section, minus like this little bit up top here. Maggie was coming out to put her dishes away. But yeah, Mr. Coffee should be home soon. And all I have left is this little section right here, which is about the same size as the section I opened. So again, I should probably have this done soon. I'm taking a little bit too long on it just because I've been doing everything else. I have so much stuff that I need to be doing, but what I want to do is what I've been doing. So sometimes you got to enjoy life and, you know, put responsibility on the back burner and do something fun for yourself. Nothing fun that's going to get you hurt or anybody else, but, you know, fun nonetheless. So I need number 17. So then, see, one more story, and then we'll have to let you guys go. So I was on TikTok. Now, y'all already know TikTok is dangerous, because you turn on TikTok and then you look at the clock and it's like 2 in the morning and you're still sitting there laughing at TikToks. The kids want me to make a TikTok, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not happening. I have YouTube. That's enough. That is enough. But I will make like my little funny reels over on Instagram. But I was watching one of the animal TikToks. Now, I thought I loved kangaroos. But the more that I'm on TikTok, the less I'm liking kangaroos. Y'all, why was this kangaroo that looked like the Chuck Norris version? It looked like the Chuck Norris version of a kangaroo, okay? It was jacked. And I'm like, why are they so big? And, of course, all my awesome Aussie people tell me, like, all these little fun facts about the kangaroos. And I'm just like, dude, look, listen. I used to like kangaroos until TikTok happened. And now I'm deathly afraid of kangaroos. Like, I used to want to go to Australia to go see a kangaroo. Apparently, they see kangaroo like we see deer. And I'm like, for real? Because if y'all only knew how often I see deer, I don't see them too much out here. Which Mr. Coffee's like, we have them out here. I'm like, where? I don't see no deer. But apparently there are deer out here. But, this deer was just jacked. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know if it wants to square up and fight me or if it wants to give me a hug. Either way, I'm afraid. I'm really afraid. This week, I'm going to try to take it easy on the kids because, like, we have, what, a week or two? We have about 2 weeks till Christmas. So, like, Smitty's going to have to calm down because he's driving me insane trying to figure out things to do with him. But I have a couple ideas for this week, so I'm excited for you guys to see them because you guys get as much enjoyment out of the elf as I do, as the kids do as well. So, like, it's funny doing the elf on the shelf stuff with the peoples. Oh, no, don't stay there. you're supposed to move with the thing. So yeah, so as you can see, I don't have much of this left. I'm going to try to get this finished today. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you to death anymore. I'm actually going to let you guys go. So I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. If you need anything, send me a message. I know Rachel Ray is going to be unavailable because, as you guys know, she's going to attempt to come back to the States. So if you need anything, please feel free to message Miss Coffee. If I don't get back to you right away, don't worry. I'm probably recording or doing whatever. But let's give Rachel a little bit of space so she can get her head right and get her trip done and over with, and wish her safe travels and all that fun stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about this kit or any other kit you've seen or anything, you know, whatever, please leave those down in the comment section below of this video, and I'll try my best to answer them. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel and would like to see more random crazy videos just like this, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified anytime I randomly decide to put up a video. And believe me, it's random. With that said, folks, I'm now going to have to bid you adieu. But not before reminding you, remember, wear your mask, wash your hands, don't touch your face, keep your 6 feet